வணக்கம் நேர்களே. கடந்த ஒரு வாரத்திற்கு முன்பாக மருத்துவ படிப்பில் 27% பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோருக்கான அந்த இடஒதுக்கீடு என்பதற்காக உச்சநீதிமன்றம் வரை திமுகவும் அதனுடைய தலைவரும் முதலமைச்சருமான MK ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் சென்று போராடியதனுடைய விளைவாக அந்த 27% இடஒதுக்கீடு என்பது மருத்துவ படிப்பில் சாத்தியமாகி இருக்கிறது. அது ஏதோ தமிழ்நாட்டிற்கு மட்டும் பொருத்தமானது அல்ல. ஒட்டுமொத்த இந்தியாவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட சமுதாயத்தைச் சேர்ந்த அத்துணை மாணவர்களுக்குமான வழிவகைகளை திமுகவினுடைய தலைவரும் தமிழ்நாட்டினுடைய முதலமைச்சருமான MK ஸ்டாலின் அவருடைய முயற்சியினால் கிடைத்திருக்கிறது. இந்த முயற்சியை பாராட்டி ஒட்டுமொத்த இந்தியாவிற்கும் முதலமைச்சர் MK ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் வழிகாட்டியாக திகழ்கிறார் என்று தமிழ்நாட்டிலிருந்து மட்டுமல்ல, வட இந்தியாவிலிருந்து ஸ்டாலின் ஃபார் சோசியல் ஜஸ்டிஸ் என்கிற ஹேஷ்டாக் என்பது மிக பிரபலமானது. அது பற்றி பல்வேறு சமூக ஆர்வலர்களும் வட இந்திய தலைவர்களும் வட இந்தியாவும் வடநாட்டினுடைய தலைவர்கள் எல்லாம் ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களிடமிருந்து கற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்று ட்வீட் செய்திருந்தார்கள். அந்த வகையில் மயூர் குடுபாலே அவரும் ட்வீட் செய்திருந்தார். அவரை நம்முடைய நிரலைக்கு நாம் வரவழைத்திருக்கிறோம். அவருடன் நாம் பேச கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கிறோம். மயூர் குடுபாலே பிரதர், you created a hashtag Stalin for social justice. Are this hashtag just words or feelings?
Okay. So that was not my hashtag. That was, I think, my senior editor Dilip Mandal. Okay. He is a journalist from Delhi. I think he had firstly mentioned Stalin for social justice, and that was used by mostly many people. And then even though when the judgment came, first time the judgment came, okay, and we were all people observing the judgments and fighting for getting reservation in, and suddenly that day judgment came and we were waiting, all of the people also, okay, and then suddenly judgment came in the favor of OBC reservation, and then that's why I think DMK lots of masses awakening also, even previously also, and then her legal team like Mr. P. Wilson sir was also appear in the court. Okay. So, and that judgment gave the happiness. So that's why we mostly people started okay, that hashtag.
The basic principle of the DMK is social justice. On that basis, DMK done its their duty only. We need to appreciate for that.
Yeah, that is a history of the DMK. Is belong to social justice movement, specifically when the Justice Party had formed and the government GO also. So then later on DK Periyar was also that time. So entire movement from Tamil Nadu of anti-caste movements was precisely based on social justice movement. Okay. So from Justice Party to till date, the carrying the social justice principle is still prevent, okay, still existing in Tamil Nadu. That's very inspiring thing for the rest of Indians, means non-Tamil Nadu also. People started to read about history of about Tamil Nadu social justice movement, and basically the globalization in the globalization means it's like invention of technology and the internet world. And we close to know about more thing about Tamil Nadu social justice movement. Before that, what was happening, whatever the happening in Tamil Nadu, we came to too much late, specifically from North Indian people. And but this internet world, it's came to very fast to close us, like what's happening there, and that's why we came to good these things.
Okay, Mayur, you have tweeted OBC North Indian leaders are sleeping and enjoying slavery except Ambedkar organization, some Ambedkar organization. Why are you criticizing them as slaves?
Yeah, I used to say slave. It's right. Many people ask me about why you call slave. Yeah. The reason behind the I call to slave, I'm telling you two things now. Now, mostly North Indian OBC politicians are come from the social justice movement, basically the Mandal movement.
Okay.
Okay, and now what's happened? The lack of vision, new generations are not aware. The firstly, elite section of the political section of OBC are not aware with what's happening with them. Secondly, sleeping means when the entirely attacking happen on the reservation policies, they just took the position of the silent instead of protesting against the need or against the denying the reservation for OBC.
Okay.
And secondly, now I'm telling you the two things. In Maharashtra, basically I'm from Maharashtra, so I will explain you what's happening in Maharashtra.
Okay.
Now local body elections, Supreme Court they denied the reservation OBC and they scrapped the local body election, and the entire political parties started protest.
Oh.
But when the reservation is not having in need, not having in law school also, so no political parties or OBC leaderships are protesting for getting reservation for OBC. So an entire generation of OBC, means generation in the sense of the political leadership from OBC community, they took a silent position as well as not protesting. We are unaware with the what is the desire of community, and that's why I criticize the North OBC leadership. And I want to say we North Indian OBC leadership has to learn from the South Indian OBC leadership.
Okay. In North India, is lack of social justice awareness for people or political leaders?
I think it's you can see the two ways. One way is those sections are aware. It's a very small. It's a minority section of whatever.
Okay.
Secondly, Ambedkarite organization who are aware, who are protesting also, but the section of OBC leadership still are not ready to, because if you see the UP, Bihar, specifically UP, Bihar, these two states where the contemporary OBC leadership comes from the social justice movement, specifically Mandal Commission movement. But after gaining power, they forgot what's the next.
Okay.
So they forgot the contemporary leaderships are because they got the leadership not from the protest. I'm telling you now is the contemporary young generations who are the leading whoever, they are not aware with the social justice movement. In Maharashtra also, the contemporary OBC leadership are busy with the getting power, but not, even though getting power is a very individualistic and the very party orientation program, but the not a community orientation program. The empowerment of community is the completely absent from the political narratives of the OBCs in North India as well as in Maharashtra also. It's very sad to say, but it's a reality. Secondly, the way what the attacks are every year happening on the reservation policy in the 13 roster point or the even the NEET exam or not reservation in the Navodaya also, because Navodaya school also are not providing reservation to OBC. Yes. And recently DMK member of parliament P. Wilson sir has raised the issue reservation to OBC for national law school. But we cannot, these kind of the narrative and the demands are here from the contemporary OBC leadership. That's why I had referred this OBC leadership were sleeping that time, the DMK and like Ambedkarite organization were fighting. So that was reason to write these things.
Okay, brother. Why do you say that North Indian leaders should read Periyar?
Yeah. Okay. So Periyar means what? Basically, when Periyar was alive, he had visited North India places.
Okay.
and even though he had visited Maharashtra also.
Oh, yes.
And that time his book also translated into Hindi language. Now the question is that the mostly the OBC leadership from North India, specifically Bihar and UP, they follow Samajwadi, socialist ideology. Whatever they say, we follow the ideology of socialism.
Okay.
Their political uh, means journey comes from the socialist movement. Okay, that's fine. One way.
Okay.
Secondly, required of Periyar it's not just reading of means whatever the Periyar ideologies. Political parties are coming in the power in Tamil Nadu. That's why we have to read. No, I'm not saying in that way. I'm saying the belief on the Periyar ideology and propagating Periyar ideology also can give the power, that one in Tamil Nadu, and that get the emancipatory movement. Today that the Periyarist people fought for the getting reservation for OBC, and this bill, this judgment is not going to help on the Tamil Nadu OBC.
Yes.
That judgment will give to help even though North Indian OBC also.
Okay.
And the Periyar as an ideologue of the emancipatory movement and social justice icon, social transformation icon, we have to read it.
Those who present themselves as leader of a backward community in North India, why are they reluctant to talk about social justice? Or do they think it is not necessary in this context? Or do they think politically it is not useless, or political fear?
I think you are right. Your question has given an answer itself actually. There is two things. One is, see, what's happening in North India, they are looking everything in electoral, not ideological.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, see, even though my question is that if you are looking to electoral, your number is very high.
Okay.
And they political fear is also there, because they are thinking if we will speak, okay, we will speak, and then suddenly the political party like BJPs and creating narrative against them. But my question is that if we will not speak
Okay.
for our right, then what is the meaning of our political existence?
Okay.
In the world, any political party fight for any kind of particular issues.
Okay.
The political fear can be understand, but that does not mean to restricted ourselves to not to speak behalf of our community and the fighting for social justice.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, the basic question is that the understanding of issues,
Okay.
that not having among the backward class leadership, it's a big problem in North India. Contemporary political leadership is looks for getting power, and that is very individualistic,
Okay.
but not for the transforming community. That's biggest threat to the social justice movement.
Okay. I don't want to mention the name. Some leaders are violently in conflict with the central government. Press identifies them as the face of the national politics. But while they have not all talked about reservation, why leader of the state party MK Stalin is talking?
Yeah, it's I think yeah, you are right. It's a rising issue now. I think I just today read also.
Okay.
Now Kerala proposed the Sri Narayana Guru's like taboo, what is called, I don't exactly word call it. And they rejected the Kerala proposal for the national parade, and then secondly they rejected as well as Tamil Nadu, and they even though I heard is West Bengal also. Now question is that there is a conflict between the central and the state.
Okay.
It's understand, and the central politics means so called Delhi base very particularly.
Okay.
And central versus even the Maharashtra narratives is this somehow similar. Maharashtra versus Delhi. Means Delhi means it's not a Delhi people of Delhi. It's a center of power. Means in Delhi where the power all concentrated there. Now, even though means my question is that if you see all this scenario also, central versus state is fight is going on.
Okay.
But at the same time, those states entitle themselves as a state autonomy of leadership. They are also not fighting for social justice. That is the biggest. We have to be questioning. For example, if I'm about the state versus the leadership, so Tamil Nadu prominently proposing the question of reservation in the need or any other places. But the same thing, we are unable to find out the other state. I don't want to take the names of other state, but yes, of course, you can take the names, or we can take or sociologically to understand them. So, like GST issue, every state will be talk. Every state will be oppose the GST and will ask to change in GST also, and then protesting. But now, whenever the questions of social justice movement, particularly reservation, for particularly SC BC issues, any state, those are like, except some state, but other state where the not BJP is moving, this state never questions for the social justice movement. So for me, center versus state is existence debate, but beyond that also social justice, which is change, which is our impact our life in everyday lives, and that's make more sense to me. That's my response to this question.
Okay. Has the situation changed to see MK Stalin as a national leader, being a state party leader?
Yeah, I think I always said this thing when even the Periyar was alive, he was communicating and coordinating with the North Indian anti-caste leadership. So he was, even though associating with Dr. Ambedkar also many times, I think 3 times they met each other, even though they delivered some common conferences also. And even though if you remind in 1951 when the first time challenge to reservation in Madras High Court, and that time Dr. Ambedkar was also constitutional, he was a minister also, and the Periyar had protested, and then Ambedkar had tried to solve it from this first amendment also. And the later on, Stalin, this act very particularly because Karunanidhi, I still remind, he had brought many changes in Tamil Nadu, but it was our fall. We were not aware about his work, but I think Stalin is a national leader. He is because SC/ST OBCs are living everywhere.
Yes.
It's not just they are living in particularly areas. They are living in this country. They are part of larger population of this country. They face problem every day in their life, and in might different stages of problems of among the SC/ST OBC. But I'm saying most of the time those are coming from the backward class. The leadership, the mainstream Delhi-based media narrate themselves as a state-oriented leadership. If they don't propose this leadership as a national leadership, and I would like to say he is a national leadership. He is because he's fighting broad change in larger picture of OBC's admission, so that will impact of every state.
Concerned Nagarik says North Indian leaders need to learn from Tamil Nadu. I ask it 2 questions. What should North India learn from Tamil Nadu, and what should North Indian leaders learn from Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, through MK Stalin?
That's a good thing. See, one is we have to learn from very good first thing is that believe in the Periyar or Ambedkar or Phule ideology. That one. And believing on Periyar ideology is not going to harm it's going to benefited the marginalized masses that we have to learn from Stalin. That's one. Secondly, the decision, whatever he is taking decision in a favor of marginalized section, and he's a developing model also. Many things happening in Tamil Nadu is taking decision. So North Indians leadership who were in position of power, they have to learn. It is going to at the end, if they learn, it will be help to the marginalized masses, and that's why I'm saying specifically, if you ask me which decision you like of Stalin, so he's fighting for social justice. That's mm, main concernable thing we have to learn. It means it have to.
What do you think about Stalin's rule in Tamil Nadu?
I think it's a very I'm looking as an outsider. See, I'm not Tamilian person. I'm very frankly wanted to admit this thing, but as a whatever he is doing work in Tamil Nadu, it's doing very well, and I'm expecting Tamil Nadu will become the model of nation. I think it's required to be look the model development model from Tamil Nadu perspective also, and I hope this Tamil Nadu model will give the inspirations to the rest of the nations, and this model has to come out in the rest of India also.
A final question, what do you want to say to the Tamil Nadu, people of Tamil Nadu?
I wanted to say thanks first of all. First of all, I wanted to thankful to MK Stalin, DMK, and her legal team also for bringing one of the biggest change. It was a kind of elephant of need where people were looking impossible all things, but it's happened in favor of OBC reservations. And I wanted to say, Tamil Nadu, you got good leadership.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining with us.
Thank you so much.